Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas from really compelling sources. Today, we're going to dig into a question that seems super simple, but the answer? Well, it might just change how you see everything, from your job to your life itself.
All right, let's just jump right in. Take a look at this pencil. Simple question, is it long? Seems easy enough, right? I mean, it should be a straightforward yes or no, but maybe not.
Because, if we put it next to a shorter pencil, suddenly the answer's a no-brainer. Yeah, of course it's long. The comparison makes that quality of longness feel like an absolute fact.
But watch this. What happens when we switch things up? Put it next to a much longer pencil, and bam! All of a sudden, our same exact pencil is now short. Nothing about the pencil itself has changed, but its entire identity just flipped on its head.
So here's the big reveal, the crucial point. The quality of long or short isn't in the pencil. It's not a real thing out there in the world. It's something our brains just make up. It's created entirely through the act of comparison. And this isn't just some neat little brain teaser. It's the key to a whole new way of thinking.
That little trick with the pencil, that's actually our way into a really deep philosophy from the East called the middle way. And it's all about freeing ourselves from the stress of a world that's built on, you guessed it, constant comparison.
The logic here is actually super clean. It just unfolds in 3 simple steps. First, just like we saw with the pencil, basically all the qualities we see in things, long, short, good, bad, you name it, they only exist because we're comparing them to something else.
This idea has a name, dependent origination. It sounds complicated, but it's not. It just means nothing exists in a vacuum. A thing is only long because something else is short. It's only big because something else is small. Every single thing gets its identity from another thing.
And that leads us to another huge concept, emptiness. Now, this doesn't mean that nothing is real or that the pencil doesn't exist. Not at all. It means things are empty of those fixed, permanent labels we try to stick on them. The pencil itself isn't inherently long. It's empty of that solid, unchanging quality.
And that is the middle way in a nutshell. It's not about finding some boring compromise in the middle of long and short. No, it's about having the wisdom to see that the whole game of long versus short is just something our minds made up. The middle way is about seeing things as they actually are, without all the labels we slap on top.
Okay, so cool philosophy, but what does this have to do with our actual lives? Well, everything. Because this isn't just some abstract idea. It gets right to the heart of what causes so much of our stress and anxiety today, what we can call the comparison trap.
You see, so much of our suffering comes from making the exact same mistake with our lives that we just made with the pencil. We take these totally relative ideas, like being beautiful or smart or successful, and we treat them like they're absolute, unchangeable truths.
There's this classic story that nails this perfectly. It's about a guy named Nanda who was obsessed with his wife because she was just so beautiful. So compared to other women, yeah, she's a 10 out of 10. But then his teacher shows him a monkey, and next to the monkey, his wife looks like a goddess. But then he's shown these celestial beings from heaven, and suddenly his wife looks as plain as the monkey did before. And finally, when he's shown the horrors of hell, the whole idea of beauty just vanishes. It becomes totally meaningless. Her beauty was never a real, solid thing. It was a ghost, created by whatever he was comparing her to in that moment. And this logic is everywhere, right? Think about it. Are you smart? Well, maybe you were the valedictorian in high school, felt like a genius. But then you get to a top university and suddenly you feel totally average. Are you rich? For so many people, feeling poor isn't about not having a roof over your head, it's about not having the new car your neighbor just got. Our sense of success, our sense of beauty, our intelligence, it's almost always just a reflection of who we're standing next to.
So if we can pull apart our ideas of success and beauty with this logic, just how far can we take it? Well, this philosophy doesn't pull any punches. It challenges us to apply the exact same thinking to the biggest, most fundamental comparison of them all. It asks this really radical question. Are life and death any different? Are they these massive, absolute realities? Or are they just like long and short, 2 ideas that only get their meaning from each other?
Okay, this next part is key. There's a huge difference between what we can think about and what we can actually experience. Sure, you can think about the time before you were born, a state of non-existence. You can think about what happens after you die. But here's the thing you gotta realize. You can never, ever experience not existing. The only thing you can ever possibly experience is this moment, right now, of being. So if you think about it from the perspective of what you can actually experience, the word life only feels so heavy and important because we're constantly comparing it to this idea of death, an idea we can imagine but never actually live through. Just like the pencil, our life isn't inherently good or bad, long or short, it just is. And really getting that can free us from a whole lot of anxiety.
So, what's the takeaway? How do we actually use this stuff to live better? Well, the source material gives us this brilliant, really practical metaphor for shifting our entire perspective. Basically, we have two ways to live. We can take the observer view. That's like standing on the sidewalk, looking at your life like it's a car, and constantly comparing it to every other car driving by. Is it faster? Is it shinier? Is it bigger? This view, it's a recipe for anxiety, for judgment, for that constant up and down of feeling better than someone one minute and worse than them the next. Or we can choose the driver view.
And when you're in the driver's seat, all that comparison just melts away. There's no better car or worse car. There's just your car. There's only your steering wheel and your hands, your foot on the gas, and the road right there in front of you. Your experience becomes absolute, not relative. You stop worrying about whether your pencil is long or short, you just pick it up and you start writing your own story.
And that really leaves us with one last question to chew on. If you really, truly decided to live from the driver's seat, to drop the whole comparison game, what would you do next? What would be the very first thing? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.